Howdy.
It's us.
Today we're talking about the differences between sexual and asexual reproduction, starting with this slide.
Don't forget to like and subscribe after this video.
Yeah, of course. Never forget.
All right, so we learned about sexual reproduction when you put together the chromosome pairs, one from the egg cell and one from the sperm cell. Today we're going to compare it to asexual reproduction. As mentioned, in sexual reproduction, one chromosome comes from the mom and one comes from the dad. Both of these chromosomes carry the same genes, but the alleles for each trait, what's an allele?
We'll get to it later.
In asexual reproduction, organisms will have two sexes, male and female, which seems kind of obvious, but you're going to find out in asexual reproduction that you don't have males and females. During cell division, after fertilization of the sperm and egg, crossing over of genetic information occurs. This creates mixed up chromosomes that can produce any mixture of traits from the mom and the dad. That's pretty much a review of what we learned the last two lessons.
Pretty straightforward.
So the three main ideas, Mr. Thompson, can you tell me what they are?
Well, definitely a main idea is that sexual reproduction requires two parents.
Two parents, which seems kind of obvious, but not in asexual reproduction.
Another main idea is that the offspring have genetic diversity, meaning their genes are different from one another.
Because you can get any mixture of traits between the mom and the dad.
And the last main idea would be that there's crossing over of genetic information, which is essentially saying that the mom's genes and the dad's genes mix and the offspring gets kind of a combination of both of them.
Like Tatum, my daughter. I talked to my class about this, but I just realized Mr. Thompson's class hasn't heard that.
My class probably doesn't know who Tatum is.
No. She's my daughter, and she has a mixture of traits between me and my husband.
All right. Here's a diagram of sexual reproduction, specifically looking at the chromosomes from the dad and the mom. It says mom and dad have 23 pairs of chromosomes each. They inherited one from each of their parents, which would be the grandparents. Here is one of their pairs. To make the next generation, DNA is mixed up for genetic diversity during what's called meiosis. In that same process, each mixed up chromosome goes into its own sex cell, either an egg or a sperm cell. And finally, at the end, the next generation gets one chromosome from each parent. The baby has its own unique combination of its parent's DNA.
So you can see how mom has dark blue and light blue chromosomes. Dad has red and orange. And you can see how the chromosome colors, they get mixed up. And eventually the baby has a mixture of the red and the orange and the dark blue and the light blue. And these represent traits from mom and dad. So one color could represent hair color or eye color. And you might get one from your mom, one from your biological dad. So the benefits are, what are the benefits?
One benefit is definitely the variation in offspring. So it is a good thing that siblings don't all look the same. So that gives us some variation between the different offspring. The next one is it gives us a survival advantage.
That's because different genetic codes have different kinds of immunity. So like sometimes I get sick and my husband does not get that sickness because he has a different kind of immune system. So same thing with diseases that can wipe out populations, which we'll get to next.
That is the next point.
Oh, it is.
Diseases are less likely to wipe out an entire population. Because of the variation in the offspring, some of the babies might be more able to withstand a disease.
All right, moving on. Asexual reproduction. Oh, we don't have a picture.
Well, maybe. In asexual reproduction, the organism or cell splits to produce the same genetic information. Bacteria, some plants, and fungi reproduce asexually. Many of these organisms are single-celled. This means that the whole organism is just one cell. If humans use asexual reproduction, we would all be twins with exactly the same DNA.
What? That would be crazy.
Wild.
That'd be so boring. Wait, I want to get. This is a bacteria and it is single-celled.
Aw.
Isn't it cute? This bacteria is in your yogurt. I
Mmm.
didn't have any today though. Did you?
I did have yogurt today,
Oh, really?
actually. Yeah.
You ate bacteria.
Yeah, mango yogurt.
Well, also spider plants reproduce asexually, and some lizards. There is a species of lizard that is all female. What are the main ideas?
Go females. All right, some main ideas of asexual reproduction. Obviously, there are not two parents. There's just one parent in asexual reproduction.
So this little bacteria would just form more of the same bacteria with the same genetic information. Okay.
And there would be no genetic diversity, meaning, I guess that leads me to the next point, which all of the offspring are identical.
Oh, we forgot to mention you're supposed to type these things on your computers and your notebooks.
Yes, do that.
All right, moving on to the benefits. So here is an image that shows you how this bacteria would reproduce. So first the DNA gets copied, then it splits apart, and in this video you're going to see how it works. And then now you get two that are twins. They're exactly the same. I only have one bacteria to show you though.
And then what happens to the baby ones, the baby bacteria? What does that one do?
Splits again.
Again?
Yeah.
And then what?
It just splits again.
And then what?
It keeps splitting.
Wow. And that's how you end up with a whole colony of bacteria.
Like this.
Is
5,000 billion.
that a real number?
That's why I went blind in my eye in only 24 hours, because the bacteria can reproduce that fast. This is a planaria, which you can cut in half and it will reproduce. This video shows you how it works. The head is taking shape and both eyes are present after 4 days. So the tail is growing ahead. It's growing the eyes. 5 days later.
Wow.
Where does it say 2 days now?
Oh, because it jumped over to the head.
Oh, now we're showing the other side. Now there's two.
Wow.
The tail grew a head and the head grew a tail. And that is asexual reproduction. Should we show this one? I think it's the same thing. You can watch this later if you would like to.
Check it out.
Okay, so what are the benefits?
Some benefits of asexual reproduction. One is that the population increases very quickly. With sexual reproduction, it takes a long time to find a mate and make the offspring, but with asexual, it happens super fast. It also is time and energy efficient, so it doesn't take too much energy, right? They don't have to go find another mate, and they can do it very quickly. And then they also only need one parent, which is a benefit for a variety of reasons.
Once you're done with this ed puzzle, there's some extra videos to watch. These are the lizards I talked about that have only females. This talks about how you can freeze your embryos. And then this is about the red queen hypothesis.
Learn about what the Red Queen hypothesis is.
I don't know what it is. You're going to have to find out. And then finally, you are going to sort these, each statement to represent sexual versus asexual reproduction, and then later we will go over it as a class.
And wait, make sure that all these slides where we typed in the benefits, don't forget, all of these need to be complete as well. All the benefits and main ideas.
And think of a name for this bacteria too. That's your
Kind of looks
homework.
like Groot, like baby Groot
Yeah.
from Guardians of the Galaxy.
I am Groot. Okay, bye. Have a good one.
See ya.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Peace.